Hey everybody, Radaman here. Thanks for tuning in to The Philosopher King, a RimWorld royalty series about being a benevolent community. Here's a little recap of the rules and goals that we have in our little community, and then the outline projects that you have all voted for. As you can see, the close ancient danger into a guest room is crossed off. So, I've been doing a whole lot of thinking about that third goal, second goal rather, how to make the community, this base, as a castle. I've been giving a lot of thought, and I think that I basically need to rip up most of what I have in this base in order to satisfy those requirements, which doesn't make me feel good, knowing that a lot of the hard work I've already put into probably needs to significantly change. So let me take a quick moment because we have a brief respite to talk about game mechanics. There are several different types of attacks. We've got the normal raids and the prepare a while raids, and they just walk right into your base. You have the clever tactics raids, which they try to avoid turret coverage and that kind of thing. You've got sieges, which don't actually come into your base, but instead will shell it from a distance until they are until they're sufficiently shot enough that then they will come into your base. And when they come into your base, it's a normal raid. Now, the ones that are exceptional to me, the ones that are different enough that they affect a strategic change in the way you design your base, is sapper raids and is drop pod raids. So, sapper raids are designed, they're hard-coded. This is the way they're programmed in the game. They want to sap towards occupied beds. So what I mean is, sappers, like let's say we have a sapper raid here, they're going to try to attack here and get there by not going through any turret cover. Whether the turrets are on or off does not matter. So the way to protect yourself from a sapper raid is to bait the sappers towards your bedrooms, knowing that you've built mechanisms and defenses to protect your base that the sappers won't see as problematic. So for instance, you could, I've built bases in the past like this. You could set up your bedrooms on the edge of your community, on the edge of your wall, with no turret coverage between the sapper and your bedrooms. And what that will do is it will encourage the sappers to attack that wall specifically, as long as you put turret coverage everywhere else. So every other way that a sapper could get into your base looks a lot less attractive to them because it's covered in turrets, right? And what that accomplishes is, when you get sapped, that every time they come to your base, they will go for the same wall, take the same route. This is something I did in the end of my RimWorld series. We were firing up the reactor, and I knew that the sapper raids during the reactor raids would pose a significant threat. I knew that drop pods weren't going to be too dangerous because I lived almost entirely under overhead mountain, which meant that drop pods couldn't really target my base. There was no way for drop pods to get through thick mountain tiles. So it was really, I had to design a way to protect myself from sapping. And the way I devised was that I basically designed my base so that the bedrooms were easy to get to, but it was really a trap. And I think that's exactly what I'm going to do again. If I am to design this base as a castle, I want it to look like a castle, but I also want it to satisfy... let me switch these doors. I also want it to satisfy the needs of the defenses of being a RimWorld community, right? I just don't want it to roleplay a castle and not have it actually be effective. The reason people built castles in the medieval times was because they offered superior protection. So there's really no point in me mimicking a castle and lacking that protection bit. So with that said, what I really need to do is to create systems, to design systems in my RimWorld base here, which allows me to protect myself from the types of attacks that I find most devastating. Drop pods and sappers. Now, drop pods have several different methods of arrival. One of them happens to be that they will drop on your orbital trade beacon. If you don't have an active orbital trade beacon, those types of raids will then drop near your comms console. If you don't have that, I think it defaults to dropping on your people. The other type of drop pod raid is just it targets a random person in your community, and they become the target for the drop pod raid. So, with all of that said, there are some measures I can take to protect myself from drop pods, like putting strategic turrets throughout the community and having large open spaces that can be covered by turrets. So given all that information, I haven't actually drawn up a blueprint. I am going off the cuff here, but what I aim to do is to design my base as best as I can to satisfy the needs that I have, which are to protect myself from drop pod raids and sapper raids, but also to look significantly like a castle. So what I think I'm going to do is move all of the bedrooms. This is something I need to do so that the sapper raids become far less of an issue. So as you can see here, we've got Bubbaloo's bedroom. This bedroom will satisfy all the requirements that Bubbaloo will ever have in a bedroom. And I think what I'm going to do is put his bedroom right across the hall. Actually, let's push it up one. Right across the hall from the royal guest room. And I'm just going to throw a little door on there, and that's where his bedroom will eventually go. And then what I want is a barracks or a small bedroom system like this, but over here. Essentially what I'm doing is offering up this wall as the wall that sappers will head towards. Purposefully. I'm more or less baiting the sappers to come attack me. Oh, Mathis. He's hunting the boomalopes and getting exploded as a result. So I did also get some tips that I wanted to go over. Johan and Gustavo both mentioned that what I ought to have is a stockpile that my hauling animals have access to, so that they can help haul things that aren't stone chunks and the like. So all I got to do for that is my stockpiles here. I'm going to create an animal haul stockpile here, which is just low priority. Build a little door to it so I can easily move items. So essentially the idea is, if you check my animal haul zone, I have the animal haul zone not allowed to go in my base because they generate filth. They're allowed to go in the top here where the barn is, but that means that they don't have access to actually get to my stockpile, which means, like, if I had heel root or ambrosia or something like that, they just actually physically could not haul it. So this stockpile allows them to do that. The other one was that all of the flak helmets I made for trade just got snatched up. So one thing I'm going to do is edit everybody's allowable clothing and just forbid the flak helmets, and then I'll forcibly wear Mathis's, because this is not the one I was going to have for trade. Shay, Chris, and Poppy all need to drop theirs. Okay, so now that we have this bedroom, My plan is to build a barracks, something like this, offering up the same size bedrooms as I had before, 4x4s. Right, so let me just paint out a bunch of 4x4s. So we'll have some there. Right across the hall, we'll have some 4x4s. Now, the curtain wall, the outer wall that I have here, may change. It may get pushed out a little bit further. This is just first iteration. So far, I really only need 5 extra bedrooms because we have so many partnering. So it'd be something akin to this. And then, ultimately, quest expiring... Oh, guarding for theft. No, I wasn't going to accept that ever. Essentially, then designing this entire bedroom complex. Designing the entire bedroom complex to sort of be isolated so that it's easily sappable, but then setting up a trap here so that sappers are caught. And the reason I put it here is I have this royal bedroom that, by royal decree, can't be broken down. You all voted that I have a bedroom, so I will have that bedroom. Right. I also want to haul these mega sloths, so I'm not wasteful. Right. Ms. Poppy, when you're done there, haul the mega sloth. And what else is out here? There's this mega sloth. The yak already rotted. So it is a bit of a construction project, but I do have more hands to help than I had previously. Zero, I'm going to put you back on construction rather than hauling. And our meat stockpiles should be increasing. Who's our... So Shay, you're supposed to be cleaning, but you are waiting for gutworms treatment. Denishi, did you just, did you kill this lynx? Oh, yes, you did. You did indeed. That's another thing, is I could keep the, I could allow access to the animal corpses for my pets like wargs. That would be a pretty nice thing for me to do. I think for now, yeah, it's something I might actually have to do for Denishi and Damien. I'll have to think of a better solution. Bubbaloo, you are... Okay, my wounded are now tended to. Faustopia is helping to build up the new bedrooms. Another thing that I kind of wanted to do to differentiate the bedrooms a little bit more is to carpet the royal ones. But I think Bubbaloo can settle on something else. Who's starving? Yanshui? You've got worms though, right? Yeah, you've got worms. That's why you're starving. Okay, we'll just use a ton of the marble instead. Mathis fully healed from killing that boomalope. So essentially, everything that I have here, other than the isolated gardens, are likely to be rebuilt, restructured, which does mean it's a significant project, and I'm very likely to have to start sort of from square one a little bit. It's just the nature of the goal that was voted on, being that I need to... Let's not roof this up until I'm ready. Being that I need to just redesign the entire base as a castle, and taking that goal very seriously, yeah, starting over is just something I'll have to do. It is okay. Alright, Mathis. I think we are good to stop hunting the rest of the deer. There's 2 more that need to be hauled in. Faustopia, I'm going to have you haul plain leather, Shay, and Mathis, freeing up room in the butchery so that we can actually prioritize haul the dead animals. Mathis, that would be you. You hunted them. Faustopia, I'm going to have you go for one as well. Now, the other thing I wanted to do is to set these up a little bit better than I had before. There, where they share heat. A lot of vents, so that I can heat and cool them from a central source. I know I already built some of the walls, but oh well. And then 0, I think I need you to be mining. I have a feeling like these deadfall traps aren't going to catch a lot of people, so I'm not going to worry about that. We have some visitors coming in. Alright, so 0, we're going to set your mining to 2. Even though you're the best constructor, I need you helping us mine up. The other people constructing... Yeah, I think I'm okay with everybody else constructing. They shouldn't fail too often. Now, what I hope gets proposed as a goal is sort of the removal of this Ancient Danger guest bedroom, because it's really going to stick out like a sore thumb compared to the rest of the castle, I foresee. Because it's awkward shaped and asymmetrical and a different stone and all that. But, you know, that could be left to you. I'm not going to worry too much about updating and making nice the rest of the base here. Because I know I'm eventually abandoning it. We have some minor break risks, so let's take a look at their needs. They're hungry, they're tired, they're in pain. I get that. Rego Lake is leaving. Actually, Bubbaloo, could you catch up? Wouldn't mind maybe making a little silver. So they have 72. Let's sell them some damaged clothing, I guess. Would be the best way to, to utilize this. They really don't have anything to buy, do they? They have teas. I guess I'll buy their teas and herbal meds. And this allows me to part with significant clothing that I don't foresee using. Okay, good enough. And that's a good amount of tea. Alright, so Mathis, Mr. Mathis. We need to trade to Elokos, and Bubbaloo's going to have to go there himself because he who goes gets the royal favor. So that's another little task I ought to head out on. Taking a look at who would be good at that task. Talon. Being a wimp, I can't really send you. I could send Shay. But then she would want to go with Faustopia. I could send Poppy and Chris. I think that's how all my escorts will be. And I'll get headed out there in just a moment. So, they're all awake. Let's go form the caravan. We are going to want to bring Bubbaloo, Poppy, and Chris. We are going to bring Angelia and Vredog for some carry weight. Angelia is the royal guard or whatever you want to call her. All right, I'll bring 100 kibble, some lavish meals, and some milk because milk takes a little bit longer to spoil. That gives Bubbaloo some food to work with. I'll bring 200 of the pemmican. And then, of course, we need the fulfilling... Okay, the bedrolls, the couple's bedroll, and then the other one. I'm going to bring statues for trade. Talon's been working on statues for us, so that makes sense. Also, took off that marine armor. Okay, the flak helmets. There's my 3 flak helmets. And I'm going to bring the rest of my silver. And I'm also going to bring... I don't actually think they're going to buy my clothing, so I won't do that. Choose the route. Elikos. And go. Oh! I have a warg puppy. So you are going to be animal grazing. The issue with the warg puppy is that they can't really hunt for themselves. So I'm trying to think of a viable quick solution. There isn't a really easy one. So I'm going to just slap together a okay solution. Which is the animal freezer. Also want to install these beds elsewhere. There, do it like that. Okay, danger pods. It is a quest. It expires in 7 days. Regula the Lake making a request. Distract a mechanoid swarm. They will contain a really crazy amount of dangers. And I get a barely any reward out of it. Man, these quests are rough. Let's actually go to the choose rewards. So, I don't really want... Actually, I do want to maybe increase my reputation with everybody. So I will accept quests of all nature to that end. All right, so here we go. We are leaving on our little caravan. And they're heading to Eklos. So it's just a day's travel. It's really not that far. And we've got Zero, who has hypothetically been, yes, mining up a storm. And everybody else who's been helping to construct. Now, the royal bedroom here takes considerable effort to clean up. Looks like Talon, you are no longer making art. I believe, yes, I am out of limestone. Let's start with sandstone. Now I'm using art as an export good. I'm basically aiming to sell it. Shay's tidying up. So the reason I wanted to move these two, I will have to raffle off that warg puppy. The reason I'm moving these two bedrooms is so that if I get attackers up here, I can sort of push. Actually, temp stockpile. No, I don't even need this. Temp stockpile allows the animals to haul there. So, yeah, let's just go with that. So, animal grazing and animal hauling. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Alright, Shay needs treatment. That would be up to Mathis to do. And then I also want to clear forest and allow flak helmets yet again. Okay, Jan Shui needs treatment. Mathis, you're going to go tend to your wife. Or lover, husband? Yeah, wife. Okay. Major break risk for 0. Very, very tired and in pain. I'm working on that pain, though. You are in line for a pain stopper for sure. Now, I do have the ability to make advanced components, but the issue here being that I don't have a ton of gold, sourced gold, to continue, or plasteel for that matter. So we have a limited amount of advanced components as a result. Alright, so we should be at Elikos pretty quickly. I think what I want Mathis to do is work on this, because this this puppy, in its training process, is going to be fed... Alright. Royal Favor. So, here's the thing. Yeah, let's do Royal Favor with Bubbaloo. I'll get back to what I was just saying a second ago. Okay, so we are here. Neural computations, circadian influence, artificial metabolism, they're all very good. I really wanted psi items. So let's first start off by selling our statues. We brought them for that expressed purpose. I could buy their gold to try to fuel my advanced component trade. That would not be a bad call. Or, well, what does this give me? Let me do the trade again. So they bought everything that we wanted. We have about 11, almost 12,000 to work with, or 1,200 rather. That actually doesn't give us access to too much. So I think that's exactly what I will do, is buy their gold to fuel my advanced components and just return home. It's the easiest, makes the most sense. So while we train this warg puppy in guard and attack, we will be feeding it kibble. But then once it is fully trained, it won't be eating anything more. Ooh, I need a warden. Okay, Faustopia, you're going to be a temporary warden here. Bringing meals to them so they don't starve to death. Psychic Soothe male coming over. So the animal grazing, we'll allow them in here. So the concept of this little spot here is it's just going to be a place. Copy the butchery. pace settings. So it's just going to be a place where we store fresh animal corpses for the wargs to snack on, because the wargs' diets are required to be raw meat or corpses. And instead of butchering up meat for them, I could put meat in here. Maybe that's a little bit more, that's a little bit more civil. I think I'm going to do that way. So let's clear all and say raw food of meats goes in here. I'm probably going to disallow a human and insect. And we're going to have this as the same priority level as this stockpile. Then when we go to cook meals, I'm going to shrink the radius so we don't steal their meat. There was a trader that walked by. They don't have anything I want, because I would have to ditch my gold. So I'll keep moving on. So 13 is the radius I'm looking for. So that stops us from taking the warg's meat. It also means that temporarily what I think I'm going to do is put this to normal priority, so that I can put some warg meat out there for them, and then I'll balance out the priority. And it wouldn't hurt, actually, taking a look at how everything is going, to hunt some more. Oh, Mathis, you were very quick to hunt that mega sloth. Go send some help. Please don't shoot Mathis. Please don't shoot Mathis. Okay, that's one down. Where is the other mega sloth that I had just queued up to hunt? It's on the west bounds. Okay. So now the warg puppy can feed itself without having to go hunt live critters, which is very dangerous because it can cause injuries, scars, and missing tails and the like, which is just an unnecessary risk as far as animal husbandry is concerned. Why risk the health of your animals? Alright, so now that there is meat in both, and I'm just going to have to make sure that meat stays in both, I can... Ooh, Shay, you were just vomiting everywhere. It's exactly the trait we want out of our cooks. Both of our cooks have gut worms, which is pretty brutal. And now we have malaria with those same two wands. Oh, what a 1-2 punch. Alright, well, bed rest is top priority, so I'm going to send them immediately to bed. The issue here is I kind of don't have any cooks, so Mathis, I'm going to make you a cook. Bubbaloo's caravan arrived at Plato. At least we have backup coming. Mathis, you are going to have to tend to my poor malaria-ridden friends over here. I guess my Storyteller, which, as I can remind you... Oh, actually, that's not where to see Storyteller. Storyteller settings. Randy Random Merciless is really being merciless when it comes to the health of my of Yanshui and Shay. They're just... Ugh. I feel bad. It's not my fault, but... Ouch. That's all I could say. Alright. I do believe that Zero's been mining up a storm, and the animals have been helping to haul it. I can tell because there's 350 steel here in the temporary stockpile, whereas my own colonists would haul it here in this outer stockpile, in this stone and steel stockpile, which can, I guess, be expanded upon further. So the new bedroom is all squared away for Bubbaloo. And Zero is smashing up things in her bedroom. I've not been tending to Zero's mental health, but this is a pretty innocent mental break compared to other mental breaks I might have. The funny thing is, Zero being my chief constructor is just going to have to fix this all. Oh, you fully broke some vents. Well, I hope that catharsis was worth it, because I'm going to make you fix the vents right now. And then go to sleep. Shay. And Yanshui. Okay, they are bedridden. Yanshui, I want you to keep sleeping, rest until you're healed. Bubbaloo will deliver food to you, or Mathis will, one or the other. Making sure that doctoring becomes their chief priority now. Let's keep that research room tidy. So, malaria is... yeah, our immunity is outpacing it. Boy, they have a rough shake at life right now, gotta say. If it can go wrong, it has gone wrong for them. For those two. Randy Random's being a little sexist, I guess. I'm sort of curious. I haven't seen, I think probably Vredog. Are you... Yes, you have all of the packed gear on you. I was sort of wondering about that. I'm going to create one more zone. I'm just going to call unload. I'm going to put Vredog right here. So if I go to animals and tell Vredog to run to unload, I can then just ditch his stuff. Like this. And yeah, some of it is food and it's going to need to move. But that's a really easy way to do it. Alright, animals, back to hauling. So these bedrooms are coming underway. And of course, I am currently researching deep drilling so that I might supply more materials into the loop. Yeah, I'll keep doing deep drilling. I think actually I'm gonna switch over to brain wiring, given that it will help Zero and Talon immensely. It's going to be pretty important for me to get. All right, so Zero, you are digging at compacted steel. Actually, you know what, Zero? We are so poor. Let's mine the silver up first. There is jade out here that eventually we'll go for, but for now, I'm not too concerned about jade. I don't have any projects for it. I'm sure I will soon. And there's my loyal pets helping to haul the materials away. See? It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, animal hauling. How a polar bear can be taught to haul stacks of silver, I have no idea, but I love it. And then they're all hauling it to this temporary stockpile. Alright, so these bedrooms are nearly ready for habitation. Things I want to change about them is let's get a proper hallway that connects them all. And for now, so the way I need to really push this curtain wall out to trigger sappers to come in the way I want them to come in. So Mathis, you are cooking. Let's haul the mega sloth that we hunted. Doesn't make sense to have it rot out there. My workload is going to be lifted a little bit once the prison warden quest is done. The shuttle arrives in 2.5 days, so... Nope. You rest. Bubbloo, you are going to, you're going to help. Stop. I know you're hungry. I know you're hungry. I'm going to tend to you, and then I'm going to feed you. It's hard to keep them nourished because they can't feed themselves because they're bedridden. But they also have gut worms, so their hunger rate is sort of off the charts. So once our community expands, I plan to add additional bedrooms down this way. And I really hope that maybe I'll put it up to a poll if I can convert this guest bedroom into something that looks a bit different. So all of these bedrooms are going to be on the back burner. Basically, I don't intend to use these bedrooms until a little bit more of the base is ready. Also appears like I need to move some of this meat. Oh, additionally, which is the problem, this is not a freezer. And now it is. Alright, so Talon, helping to clean up. Checking on the health. So the gutworms are gone in Yan Shui, and her immunity really outpacing, same with Shay. So good. At least the gutworms are over. The worst possibly behind us. Possibly. Alright, Zero, you are just ripping up the mountain here. And this is going to help supplement our smithing and the like. At this point, I don't really need fire places or anything anywhere, so I'll just aim to remove them. Bubbloo has a shoot frenzy, which is very funny because, you know, he's a brawler at the moment. Maybe he becomes a shooter at some point, but my guess is I aim for him to have a psi-focused staff, improving his psychic powers, which means he'll probably never be a real shooter. Talon, you have a minor break. You're rebuffed by Poppy. Yes, that's gonna happen. She kind of dating someone else. Guess it's not hurting anyone to have those deadfall traps stay constructed. More prisoners. Oh boy. Empire Spirit seeking my help. 10 prisoners. Wants to hold them for 2 days. The Night Fiends are going to send a death squad, but they will also send Jacenaries to help me. It's 9 royal favor. That is pretty brutal, though. I gotta say, that is pretty brutal. So I am, that would rank me up to Baron if I accepted it. But considering that I have a lot of construction projects, I don't really have the defenses for that sort of fight. I think helping the Empire of Spirit with their prisoners is a little... how should I say? Wrong? I'm not just a prison warden for them. Yes, it's a little... it does benefit me to just say I'm passing this on this one, because it's really dangerous and difficult. But also, I am not a slaver. That's really not what benevolence means to me. But that's about all the time I had for this episode, guys. So I hope that my slow adaptation of my current base into a castle is a smooth one. I suspect it won't be. It's going to require a lot of redesign and probably many iterations to get it to the way I like it. But if you have any tips, tricks, feedback of any sort for me, do drop me a line. If you're a patron of mine and you would like to submit ideas for the next poll, please do so on Discord. If you're not a patron yet, just go to patreon.com/Radamont. You can read all the perks, like getting characters named after you in series. For instance, the Warg puppy that we got this episode is going to be named after one of my patrons, and there are raffles for this. And you can become a patron at $1 a month and still enter the raffle for pets, for instance. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you all next episode. Farewell.